This is your girl Tasha Deshawn, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you guys a couple of clips in real time on how I apply box braids. I position the braiding hair over the client's hair, then I lift their hair up over to the right, and then I start out under braiding, but only for a couple of strokes. And then I take a piece from the left braiding hair and add it to the client's hair, and then I take a piece from the right in order to create a third braid. I try to pinch enough so that the third piece can look as even as the rest. Now, once I create the three sections, I take a little bit of the braid jam and I apply it to the client's real hair. And this helps smooth the client's real hair down in order for all three braids to look even. And if their hair is very thick and tangles a lot, it is also good to take the comb and just run it through their hair just to smoothen out those lumps. And if anyone is wondering why do I overhand braid, well, that is because I am able to create a tighter stitch. And in order for my braids to look very neat and put together, I must tight stitch. But I hope this demonstration helps. I'm still new at explaining, but I will get better in my future videos. once I've reached the top of the client's hair, that is when I begin to part the parts just a little smaller, but not too much. I've been doing all of their hair like this for so many years that many people in my town have tried to mimic it, but they just couldn't get it quite right. I used to receive phone calls, texts, even screenshots of people telling me, ooh, so-and-so tried to steal your part. And the reason why they called it my part is because no one has ever parted anyone's hair while braiding like this before. And I can't speak for everybody all over the world, but I know for a fact nobody was doing this in my hometown. Back when I all of a sudden came up with this technique, I've never seen anybody do it before. But after years passed, yes, I did see later. Once social media came about, I did see only a couple. But that didn't stop me nor my people from labeling it my signature part. And that is how people knew when I did someone's braids. My clients would come back for another set, and all they would discuss is the fact that whenever they would go out and people would see their hair, most of them wouldn't even ask who did their hair because they knew who it was. And the whole purpose of it is to create a full look. Adding a couple of extra braids and bringing them closer together did not make the braids heavier. Lord knows I never had nobody complaining on how heavy their braids was. But filling in the top has always been necessary for me. I remember I was asked by someone years ago that if they can do anything to enhance their look of their braids, what would I suggest? And I immediately told them that they need to stop making such huge parts/blocks at the top of the person's hair, making it look like they are very tired and they are ready to get done. And although I be tired as a dog. The people be tired. They butts be numb. Folks used to check their watches back when cell phones was not out. They even blowed real hard. They would get on the phone and say, not yet. And I knew what that meant. Y'all talking about me. And one or two back then even asked if I can just put them 1 or 2 braids up on the last row. And I said, no ma'am, you tired, but I'm tired too. You've been sitting in a chair for hours and I've been standing up on my feet for hours. Your butt and back hurt, my feet, legs, arms, shoulders, and neck is hurting. So that's 5 against your 2. But the point I'm stating is that if I would have done what they asked me to do as far as throwing their braids up, then immediately once I've got done and they went home, they would have talked about me like a dog. They would have drugged my name up and through the mud. Y'all know how them certain clients be. It's just human nature, I guess. It almost reminds me of the little kids that will cry their eyes out, will squirm in the chair, will kick, and even spit and slob on themselves. But once I'm done, and even before they go home, they all in the mirror just smiling and grinning and playing in their hair. Well, that's what y'all grown-ups do when y'all get home. And although I like to joke and play around, I have heard for so many years, and I have begun to live by it, that beauty hurts. But my type of hurt is not from the pain of the braids being applied to the client's hair, because a lot of people say they can barely feel me. I got about 1 or 2 that is very tender-headed, and it is kind of hard to braid at a good pace while doing their hair because everything that you do hurts them. But I still try to be as gentle as possible while also trying to get the job done in a decent amount of time. And speaking of time, a traditional set of box braids on the average takes about 7 to 8 hours. But depending on the size of it and the length of them, will add on or even possibly take away from the time. And the reason why I mentioned it is because a lot of people here would talk about how long it would take me. But majority of the time, they will only sit for about 7 hours. If it would go up to 8, 9, and even 10 hours was due to the fact of their hair being super thick, their head being big, their hair being super long. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when the client's hair is real long and you have to braid past their hair, you cannot braid as fast because you have to make sure that you are tucking their rear hair into the braiding hair. Well, let me not speak for everyone, but if any braiders are watching this video and your time exceeds due to any of these things, then leave a comment below. And even if a client requests butt length braids, that also adds to the time as well. And oh, while I'm at it, have y'all ever had a client that had super short hair, and when they reached out to you, the first thing they said is, oh, you're going to get done with my hair quicker because my hair is short or my hair is thin? And I immediately have to tell them that is not true, because now I have to work even harder to get their hair to look just like the other people's hair. So that includes me adding more hair when the client hair is thinner. And if their hair is shorter, I don't get the privilege of parting. I just have to wing it and just grab what I can grab and work extra harder to make it look neat. And although this may not be everyone's situation, I know that my struggle comes from my hands being small. Now, I done just talked y'all ears off all the way to the end of this video. And in the words of my late grandma Hattie Bluff, she would say, Lord. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will be back with more videos. Hope you all have a blessed one.